Today's poem for discussion is We Wear the Mask by Paul Lawrence Dunbar. Here is an image of Paul Lawrence Dunbar which clearly states that he is of African descent. Now let us look at the theme of the poem. This poem is about the immense suffering of the black people living in America and the requirement to put on a mask that may hide their painful experience. It presents the racial discrimination that existed during his time or the poet's time. So the poem is mainly about the extreme suffering of the black people or African Americans living in America, which is clearly evident in this picture where a woman is chained to a girl and a man is in irons at work in the field. Now, let us see the lines of the first stanza of the poem We Wear the Mask. We wear the mask that grins and lies, over it hides our cheeks and shades our eyes. This debt we pay to human guile, with torn and bleeding hearts we smile, and mouth with myriad subtleties. In this first stanza, the poet wants to say that they wear an invisible mask of happiness that hides the truth. It means they pretend that they are happy and contented, but in reality, they are all fake. They are forced to mask their true emotions with a smile. Here, the poet wants to say that just as a physical mask hides the true reality of a person and does not let others know who he is and how he is, in the same way, the invisible mask of happiness hides the true painful emotions of the African Americans and does not let others know how they are. This is the price they pay to their cunning intelligence. They smile, but their hearts are torn and bleeding. They have countless sufferings to express, but they don't do so, for they are unacceptable in the society. Now let us come to the second stanza of the poem We Wear the Mask. Why should the world be overwise in counting all our tears and sighs? Nay, let them only see us while we wear the mask. In the second stanza, the poet asks why the people of the world should be allowed to see their tears and sighs, and wishes that they shouldn't be allowed to see what they wish to see. The poet wants them to see only the outward appearance of being contented and satisfied. So the main thing that is given here in the second stanza is that poet doesn't want Americans to know anything about him and his race. Now let us look at the third stanza of the poem We Wear the Mask. We smile, but O great Christ, our cries to thee from tortured souls arise. We sing, but oh, the clay is vile beneath our feet and long the mile. But let the world dream otherwise, we wear the mask. Through the last stanza of the poem, the poet wants to say that though they smile for others, they exclaim sadly in front of Christ that their extreme suffering is beyond tolerable and hence they are crying. It means the poet wants to say that their suffering is unlimited and hence they are crying. He further says that though they sing, but they know that the place where they live is extremely unpleasant. It means they also don't like the place, and the distance through which they must walk seems to be very long. It means the journey of life that they must walk seems to them very long and difficult. At last, the poet wishes that the world should be allowed to think that they are happy while wearing the mask. It means the poet doesn't want African Americans to know anything about them. Now let us come to the conclusion of the poem. The conclusion is that there was a tough time for African Americans living in America, but there lived a lot of people who portrayed a lot of courage. Denver was one of them. Only at the age of 13, he had the courage to write a poem that questioned the authorities of America. And that's all.